Most real estate agents aren't broke because they're lazy. They're broke because they're doing the wrong things. Before becoming a real estate agent, I worked in a hotel making minimum wage. And by my fourth year in real estate, I closed 100 transactions, all from listings sold, while working 150 days a year. And I did that for 10 years straight. I put together a step-by-step process that I'm going to share with you on this video. And if you follow it, you'll be able to duplicate what I did way faster. You could actually do it your first year in real estate. Let me warn you that this is not a feel-good video. This is I am ready to make a lot of money video. So if that is what you're interested in accomplishing, let's go. The first step is accepting the fact that to make a lot of money in real estate and take a lot of listings, because you want to make sure your business is listing focused, you have to talk to people and find the ones that want to sell. That is non-negotiable. I wrote this down. You know that what I'm saying is a fact. It's plain common sense. You want to have a listing business and you want to make a lot of money, you're going to have to go after and find people that want to sell. You may not want to do it. You may have never done it and be scared of doing it, whatever. But you know that this is what it's gonna take. Now, how do you find people who wanna sell? By speaking with people, not sitting around waiting, not buying leads that are mostly buyers, all the other stuff real estate agents are doing. You actually have to talk to people. And way too many agents are trying to avoid it, and they avoid it by running around showing properties to buyers. Like I said, trying to build a social media following. I don't know what else agents do, buy leads. Bottom line is, all of this is an attempt to avoid the inevitable, the non-negotiable. Having conversations with people. How are you going to make money without that? And avoiding that fact, which is the first step, is why most real estate agents are broke. You want to make a lot of money, so you're going to do things differently. Step number 2, start now. Be a doer, not a procrastinator. Think about this. If you wait for all the stars to be aligned, everything to be just perfect before you start, that is never going to happen. You'll never get anything done. I actually wrote down several points to describe to you what are the qualities, let's say, or not necessarily good qualities, but qualities of a procrastinator and a doer. So you can have them side by side and figure out where you're at. Procrastinator, they delay taking action. They do what I just talked about. They wait for everything to be just perfect, for them to know exactly what they're doing and how they're going to do it. It's not like that. It's one step in front of the other, learning every step of the way. Procrastinators avoid discomfort. They just want to stay do what they know and how feeling sort of certain, being able to predict what's going to happen. Discomfort, they will avoid at all costs. Third one, they get stuck in planning. Don't take me wrong, having a business plan, having goals, having a schedule, this is all part of the planning and you have to do that. But you don't want to get stuck in planning or even get stuck in learning and be a professional student who makes no money. Number 4, they're driven by fear and doubt. Now, having fear is normal. Doubting what you're doing and doubting yourself is normal. Everybody has those moments, myself included. I used to have a lot more of those moments when I started in real estate, but the truth is we all have it. Understand that it's never gonna be perfect and you're gonna like have no fear. It's what you do when you have fear and doubt. And as you take action consistently, the fear goes away. That's actually how you get rid of fear. And the last thing procrastinators do, and now we're going to talk about doers, is they lose momentum, or they may never even build momentum because they just start and stop, start and stop, start and stop. They don't follow through all the way on the stuff that they have to accomplish. Now, how about doers? Let's focus on the doers. They take immediate action. I love this point. And they take consistent action. So they don't sit and think about it, this is a good idea. Oh, I don't feel like it. No, they just go. They get it done. They start even when things aren't perfect. Doers, they stay focused on the outcome of what they want to achieve. I always talk to my clients about focusing on setting an appointment. That's the reason why you talk to people you don't know. So you could set a listing appointment, and they stay focused on that outcome, and they commit to finishing what they started. If you have it on your schedule to make calls for 2 hours from 8 a.m. till 10 a.m., 2 hours, they don't start and then 10 minutes later, oh, nobody answers the phone. Oh, somebody just hung up on me. I have other things to do. No, they follow through and they finish it. They push through resistance. They don't wait for motivation. Waiting for the day when you wake up and, oh, I can't wait to prospect and make calls. I mean, think it through. How often is that going to happen? If you're just going to work on the days when you don't feel like it, again, waiting for the perfect conditions. Doers push through it. They do what they're supposed to do, whether they feel like it or not. Doers also learn by doing. This is one of my favorite quotes. For the things you have to learn before you do them, you learn by doing them. And they course correct while they're in motion, in real time. They course correct. So they're taking action and learning at the same time. And doers build momentum, because when you're in momentum, that fuels more action. Momentum is a huge part of what successful people take advantage of. They build and they ride the momentum. Step number 3, the only reason to prospect is to set appointments. Oh, I use the word prospect. What is that? It's these conversations you're going to have with people you don't know. You could also talk to people you know, but that's a limited number of people, and people you don't know is an unlimited number of people. So that is what prospecting is. So successful agents who make a lot of money and they focus on listings, they prospect for appointments, meaning those conversations they're having, the purpose, the end result is setting an appointment. Now, here's the challenge for a lot of real estate agents. You might be one of those that fall into this category. If you listen to what most coaches, if not all of them, say, and even your broker and agents in your office, they say most of your business will come from lead follow-up. So you have to just accept the fact that, yes, you're going to talk to people, but you're going to end up with a lot of leads, and then you got to keep following up on those leads. That is a lie. That is a 100% lie. Top listing agents, which is why you're watching this video, you want to be one of them. They listen carefully. They set appointments on their first call with a prospect. First call, got an appointment. They set those appointments for the same day. And they go out and they take listings while everyone else that's listening to all of these other coaches out there, they're getting leads. And then guess what? You're going to follow up on your leads. You're going to call them back a few days later or whatever, and they're going to say, oh, I already listed my home. How do I know? Because it happened to me a lot. And it still happens to my clients, even though they know this. Actually, recently, One of my clients posted in my training community, and I'm going to read verbatim what she posted, because I actually did a live call talking about this exact conversation. She wrote down, hanging on to old leads is like hanging on to an old pair of jeans that fit 20 pounds ago. For the past week or so, I called all of those leads, she put it in quotes, and sorted them out. Eventually, they all got deleted. Most didn't answer the phone, and the ones that did had already listed and sold. This was a great lesson for me to see with my own eyes that it really is now or never, because that's what I teach. No one is waiting for me to call, and if I don't get it, some average agent will take the listing simply because they were more persistent. This is not going to happen anymore. Wow. I've been talking about it my entire real estate career and coaching career, and it's beautiful actually. Sometimes you gotta learn from doing what doesn't work. And I do these videos to help you actually learn from my experience and the experience of over 10,000 agents I've coached. Step number 4, stop previewing properties. It is a waste of your time. Learn how to communicate your value, and you will set qualified listing appointments. Again, that is what top listing agents do. They don't go out previewing properties. And in order for you to be a top listing agent, you got to do what they do, not the opposite of what they do. Step number 5, you have to call for sale by owners and expired listings if you want to take a lot of listings. Why? Because they are the hottest leads in real estate, the hottest that exist, period. Why? Because they want to sell. Oh, but FISBOs and expireds are hard. No, they're not. You're just not good enough at speaking with them. You're using the wrong script. You're saying it the wrong way. Other agents, trust me, in your market are listing and selling FISBOs and expireds every day. These people are listing with other agents. And if somebody else is doing, you can do it too. And in order to do it, you're going to have to learn how to communicate effectively with them. Say the right things in the right way. Number 6, if you think FISBOs and expireds are hard, you need to download my script book. Go ahead and download it. The link is in the description of this video. And if you're using other scripts, I already said, you're saying the wrong things the wrong way, okay? And other scripts, they're all the wrong things, okay? Said the wrong way. And the problem with these other scripts is that they tell agents to ask these FISBOs and expireds questions about their motivation and build a relationship. Here's a reality check. Homeowners, these sellers, they don't want to build a relationship with you. They do not want to be your friend. You're just a random stranger that they don't know. And you're a real estate agent. And the general public doesn't even trust real estate agents. Why would they want to answer all of these questions that all these scripts have and build a relationship? They won't. My scripts are direct, clear, and to the point that matter to the sellers. You're speaking their language when you use my scripts from the very beginning of the conversation, instead of rambling and wasting their time. When you are direct, the sellers instantly see the value in speaking with you. So download my script book, use them. Number 7, use a listing presentation script, mine, that focuses on how you will solve the seller's problems. In essence, write this down. What's in it for them? how is it that whatever I'm going to say to them in this presentation, how is it going to help them get what they want? And what is it that sellers want? To sell their home quickly and for the most money possible. In the case of a FSBO, they also want to net the most money possible out of the sale. In my script book, you're going to find a FSBO listing presentation and a listing presentation for everybody else, because FSBOs are different. They have this element of not wanting to pay a commission so they can keep the most money possible. So what other agents are doing on the presentation, talking about them and what they do, and talking about their company for 2 hours, putting sellers to sleep. They're not interested. They don't care about what you do. They don't care about your company. All they care about is, how is whatever you're saying going to help me get what I want, the most money in the least amount of time, and walk away with the most money possible. That's it. So my listing presentation, also in contrast to these 2-hour listing presentations, my listing presentation is 20 minutes. That's why my scripts, when you are asking for the appointment, you ask for just 20 minutes. Short, clear, direct, powerful. Point number 8. Sellers want a professional, not a friend. I touched on this earlier. Let that sit with you for a moment. A professional, not a friend. Can you imagine, I wrote this example down. Can you imagine walking into a doctor's office with a bad headache, and the doctor spent 10 minutes complimenting your clothes and asking where you bought them and, where could I find it? Can you imagine that? No. You know why? Because they are professionals, direct, clear, to the point, to help you get rid of this headache, nothing else. Motivated sellers want an agent who is confident, professional, strong. They're about to place their biggest asset, for most people, one of their biggest assets, if not the biggest, in your hands. Take care of this for me. Confident, professional, strong. And you know that what I'm saying to you is the truth of the matter. You may not know how to show up that way. That's why you're listening to this video. And there are a lot of other videos on my channel that are going to help you with this. But this is the truth of what sellers are looking for. Point number 9. There isn't enough marketing that will sell an overpriced property. And great listing agents know this. So at the same time that there's not enough marketing that will sell an overpriced property, well-priced properties will sell with no marketing. Marketing doesn't sell homes. Marketing gets attention. But price is what gets homes sold. Your job as an expert is to help sellers understand that pricing their home correctly is what is in their best interest. Because there's so many reasons why. There are actually videos in my channel too where I talk about pricing property. Homes that sit on the market for weeks or months, they end up selling for less. They get stale. So pricing it right from the beginning is in their best interest. So your job, again, to be clear, help them understand what that price is. Not just tell them or list a house for whatever price they say. That's not what experts do. Why is this important? Because when they understand the price, they own it. And when they own it, they don't argue with you about it. Otherwise, if you tell them, no, it should be this, and they say, no, it should be that, who's going to win? No, they have to see it. And that is the job of a great agent, to help them see it by providing evidence and communicating that evidence to them in a way that they get it. Point number 10, your thinking, what's going on up here, determines your success. Yeah, maybe if this is the first time you hear this kind of stuff, you're going, huh, how is that possible? Well, that's the reality of how life works. What's going on in your head determines your success. Do you believe that a seller who doesn't list with you is making a mistake? That is one of the most powerful beliefs you can have. If you don't believe in yourself and what you do, the value of what you do, they're not going to believe it either, because you can't convince somebody of something that you don't believe in. Number 11, do not go on unqualified listing appointments. This is like going on a preview. Going on an unqualified listing appointment is just going into someone's home in total darkness. I have no idea what they're thinking. I don't know what questions they have, and I don't know what objections. I don't know if they're interviewing. I know nothing. So I'm just gonna show up and wing it. Qualify every single, pre-qualify every single one of your appointments so you can understand what questions the seller has, what objections they have, and that way you can show up prepared to handle all of it and list their home. And effective pre-qualifying, I wrote down, put you in a position of power because you know what to expect. I love that. I don't like being blindsided. Point number 12, learn to adapt to different people in different situations, in different ways. You learn to adapt. In other words, you can't talk to everyone the same way. That doesn't work. Oh, this is just how I am, how I talk. Well, it's going to work for talking to somebody that communicates exactly like you. Top listing agents, they adapt. They focus on the seller. It's not about them. This is how I am. No. Talk to people the way that you will be able to actually have the most influence, in a way that they'll listen to you. In other words, I wrote down, meet them where they're at so you can build rapport and have influence. That is how highly skilled communicators succeed. And the better you communicate, the more effectively you communicate, the more money you make. Number 13, do not do open houses. Why? Because it is a passive approach to find business, and it will distract you from focusing on finding sellers. As simple as that. To become a top listing agent and make a lot of money, you need to become a listing master, not a jack of all trades. I work with buyers, I work with sellers, I work with renters, I do whatever. No, you are a listing specialist, a listing master. Wow, this is what every real estate agent wants to be anyway. Number 14, failure is what leads to success. Understanding this point is so critical. Failure is not like, oh, it's over, this doesn't work for me. No, it's reframing that and looking at failure as an opportunity. And when I was selling real estate, by my 4th year that I told you, I sold 100, it was 100 listings sold, and I was the one that listed all of these properties. And I had no sales experience, by the way, or college education. I mean, when I started, I was as bad as they come, okay? My 4th year, when I actually started feeling like, okay, I think I know what I'm doing, I failed, if you want to call somebody hanging up on you without an appointment failure. I failed on 95% of the people that I talked to, that I called, and that I had conversations with. It took me 20 conversations to set one qualified listing appointment. What does that mean? That 19 of those conversations were no's. No matter what I said, no matter how skilled I was already, my 4th year, I was pretty skilled. Didn't matter. I couldn't set an appointment with 19 out of 20 people that I talked to. So Think about that. Next time somebody hangs up on you and you think, oh, this is not for me. The only way to get better at it and master this process is going through massive amounts of failure. The process may make you feel like you're failing, but you're not. You're actually learning, and that is the path to real success. Last point, 15. Equally as important as number 1 and every other. Do not blame the market, your broker, your partner, your family, the economy. Take full responsibility for everything and do not expect anybody to do anything for you. Whatever needs to be done, do it yourself and do it now. Remember being a doer, not a procrastinator. If you're blaming, oh, the market, and if you're listening to agents around your office and everybody else out there, it's like, oh, everything is so bad. Interest rates are high, the economy, the uncertainty. Oh, my broker, he doesn't help me. You're a victim. Victims don't make a lot of money and become top listing agents. Take full responsibility, because when you do, you are in control. You can decide how things are going to be. If you blame somebody else, they're actually controlling your business, your life, and your destiny. Like I said in the middle of the video a couple of times, there are a lot of other videos on this channel that will help you build on the ideas that I shared with you today. Thanks for watching, and I will see you soon on the next video.